from our community in China about the beautiful statue that you made. How did you get the idea of the whole design that we saw it by you about it? And what is she holding? And what made you decided that she hold the Tower of Q that she was holding? Can you tell us about it?
Well, first, thank you for having me here, and hello to all China friends. And the first training ever she did near Perugia, in the area of Perugia, and it was 1909. She trained 70 teachers. Most of them were from the region, so schools started to grow, to rise the Montessori movement, and I think we could say that the method is started in Rome, but the movement started in my city. The inspiration, the first inspiration for the statue was I had the chance to speak with a Maria Montessori student. She's still alive and she lives in my town, Perugia, and I had the chance to speak with her. She was very gentle, very nice, and she remembered very well the time she spent with Maria Montessori in the training. So she told me that Maria Montessori was a very strong person, but very graceful, very gentle voice, but very strong words. You know, very exact, but very, very nice. And so I try to represent this heavy stone marble figure with a strong weight, but at the same time a gentle texture, a gentle figure, a gentle shape, soft, you know. And she was. Why you asking me why the Pink Tower? This is a very interesting question, because I asked her, what material do you suggest her to hold, to offer to children? And she said, well, the first material she presented us in the training was the Pink Tower. And in the life-size statue, the Pink Tower is in the real size.
The real size of the Pink Tower?
Real size of the blocks. So the statue, I designed a statue that wanted to represent in front, where you have the Pink Tower, represent the teacher, because she was an educator. So she presented her material and she looked at the children. It's a statue for the children. In front of the statue there is a square, a playground for children, and it's I would call it, I designed it also this playground, as I'm an architect, and I like to call a community classroom, because it's designed to having children doing activities with teachers. So, and with family, of course. On the back side, this is a very interesting question, because on the back side looks toward the city. Okay? So for the city, it's a monument to a great scientist. So she's holding a book, because on the back it's represented as a scientist. So it's a very, and in Italy, you know, it's very important scientist, and one of the first woman scientists, acknowledged in the modern time. And the book she's holding on the back, it's I think everybody can have his interpretation, because you can see it as a observation book, study book, as a notebook, handbook, or it has a historical link with our city, our region, because Maria Montessori wrote and published the method for the first time nearby Perugia. So the book represent the first edition of the method. On the plate,
Yeah.
Maria Montessori, the teacher of the teachers.
Love that. But how do you think of to write the teachers of the teachers? Do you get any idea from?
This is a very interesting story because I started to design the statue, the models, and then I started to show to children because I wanted the statue to be a statue for children, also to play, that they recognize. So, do you recognize who's this? And everybody said, this is Maria Montessori.
They all know about Maria Montessori.
They all know. And one little girl, an 8 years old little girl, I asked her, who was Maria Montessori? And she said, the teacher of the teachers. Beautiful. And so we decided with the authorities also that let's write it on the memorial plate. So for us, it will be forever the teacher of the teachers. And this came from a child.
And question is, growing up in Perugia, how is Maria Montessori has an impact in the community there?
Well, having this very long tradition, because she came in Perugia in 1909, she wrote the book, she published the book, she trained, her first training ever she did near Perugia, in the area of Perugia. And it was 1909, she trained 70 teachers. Most of them were from the region, so schools started to grow, to rise, the Montessori movement. And I think we could say that the method has started in Rome, but the movement started in my city.
The children's house.
With the first training. Then Maria Montessori, she went all over the world. You know the story better than me. So she came in Asia many years, to the United States. So she really became a cosmopolitan person. But she came back in 1950 to my city to create a study center. So she created a special training classroom, which has a balcony to observe the children, and she did training there for 2 years, and then she passed away. So the lady I was speaking with was one of her students in 1950. And so this very long legacy, so we have Montessori since 1909 in our city. So this, and then we have training in our city since 1950. Okay, so it's a small town.
Yeah.
It's a small town. It's 250,000 people, and it means we are like one every 30 inhabitants. It's Montessori educated. So the impact, because of her, was very strong, very strong. So I grew up in a really Montessori environment, Montessori atmosphere, and everyone in my city knows Montessori, this word. And yes. Between us, we often keep in touch, like children who did the Montessori schools. Many are publics, most of them. Now I think all of them are, we have one private and 10 public schools in our city.
That is Montessori.
That is Montessori. And we keep it in touch with schoolmates. So now we are adult, and we still are in touch. Our children, we want them to be in a Montessori school. So we have many generations in the same school, like grandparents, parents, children, they all went in the same school, Montessori school.
Wow. So since this statue last year, in September 14, right? 2022. Its launch. Is there any changes happen in Perugia in the town?
Yes, big changes. Because unfortunately, the memory of Maria Montessori got lost. I went back to my school 5 years ago. No one remembered she was there in 1909. That was forgot. Very sad. And especially the inhabitants of the district, of the city, they forgot. They didn't know that Maria Montessori was there. They didn't know. So now, with a statue, everybody in the city, they know this important person. She was here and she left a legacy. She left a classroom. She wrote a book here, and now she is playing with children. And was also very impactful the fact that the statue was a donation of AMS, American Montessori Society. For our community, this was so meaningful because they thought if such an important organization come to our neighbor from the other side of the ocean, it means this is something very important, international. It is not. It created. It is creating like a tiny community of, as you can see in the pictures, of children
Yes.
playing with the statue. It is creating a neighbor community because there is an economy moving around this monument. Tourism, congress, people coming, small souvenir, selling souvenirs. And then there is a city community because now the mayor, the governor, the authorities, they recognize the legacy, the cultural meaning of Montessori. And then there is this international community with AMS. There is Asia, America, brought there. This is a magnet. This monument, Boston today, it never happened in 150 years. So we are today in Boston, speaking live with Asia, talking, connecting with Europe, and this is a magnet.
And you,
Important thing about this, of the statue, that when I spoke with her student, this 90 years old lady, she told me that in the first conference, lecture she gave, she entered the classroom with an Indian dress, a sari. So this is meaningful because it means Maria was already a cosmopolitan person. So the statue, I wanted to represent like the teacher of the teachers from all over the world. So there is not an ethnicity in the statue. So it's a transposition of what she was. So a cosmopolitan person. So anyone can recognize, every teacher in the world can recognize herself or himself in this figure. So we really wanted to start to open to the international community, and not because we were for too many years closed in ourselves, in a small town, the Montessori movement. So now we started to open to the international community. So this statue is really a symbol of international global friendship.
how can we purchase, any chance to purchase a statue just like this?
Yes, it's easy. It's easy. Just get in touch with AMS, and we can send all over the world shipments, and this size, yes, and it can be marble from Italy, which is the most beautiful marble in the world, Carrara marble, and It's very soft when you touch. It's very beautiful. Or you can have it in a hardwood, in a beautiful hardwood like cherry wood, or I don't know. We have to decide it. And then the statue has the basement, the circle, the disc. This you can write whatever you want. You want to write the name of your school or a person, and each statue will have a number and a signature. So it is like limited editions.
Just like Maria Montessori said, I beg dear all the children to make peace in the world.
Let me say a last word. It's the words of the students of Maria Montessori. Like the lady I told you, 90 years old, she was so open-minded. I found a person that she said the method, what I learned, is the secret is the look you reach with the children as a teacher. When the look, you see the children with the light in his eyes, and you know you're making it. That's the connection. Exactly. And then in the archives, I found a witness of a teacher from the 1999 training, so the very first training, and she brought how her classroom was transformed by this new method, and she ended the description saying, the day we left the training, Maria Montessori told us, try it, talk each other, and give me feedback. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bye to all China friends.